I'm going to give you 8 questions to ask a personal injury lawyer before hiring one, and we are getting into the law right now. Before I get into the questions, you should know to use your gut. If something doesn't feel right, you're probably right. If you get a sense of feeling rushed when you speak with a personal injury attorney, you should expect that the attorney is likely going to be that same way after he or she represents you. I'm Justin from justinziegler.net. The first question to ask a personal injury attorney before you hire them is, are you licensed in the state where my accident and injury happened? An attorney needs to be licensed in the state where your accident happened, or he or she cannot ethically and legally represent you. The one exception to this rule is if the attorney is licensed in the state that you live in. A state like Florida allows the attorney to represent you before a lawsuit. An out-of-state attorney cannot file a lawsuit in Florida. Just because you see an ad on Google that says that a personal injury lawyer can handle your case, don't assume that he or she is licensed in the state where the accident happened. Be sure to look for the attorney's name on their website. If there's no attorney name on the website, that is a red flag. The second question that you should ask before hiring a personal injury lawyer is, will I be dealing with the case manager, or will I actually be able to speak with the attorney? To some clients, it doesn't matter if they end up dealing with a case manager or the attorney. And in fact, some case managers have much more experience than attorneys. For example, my paralegal Jenny has over 18 years of experience handling personal injury claims. That being said, a paralegal or case manager usually will never know the law as good as an attorney. However, you need to ask yourself, if you're one of these people who needs to speak with an attorney during the case, ask the attorney before hiring them if you will be able to deal with them throughout the case. The third question to ask a personal injury lawyer before you hire them is, when can you expect them to return your phone calls and emails? You need to make sure that you're on the same page as the attorney. The attorney may tell you, hey, it takes 2 or 3 days for me to respond to emails, but at least you'll know this before hiring them, so that during your case, you're not disappointed if the attorney doesn't respond within a few hours or the same day. The fourth question to ask a personal injury lawyer before hiring one is, tell me about your experience handling personal injury claims. Personal injury attorneys get better with experience. They have settled more cases, they have better negotiating skills after they've been practicing for several years than they are when they start. When you come out of law school, you virtually know nothing about personal injury claims, and even if you understand the basic laws of negligence, you don't know how to value a case. Valuing cases comes with years of experience. I also don't recommend hiring a personal injury lawyer who handles many different types of law. Now, if you're speaking with an attorney who's been practicing 30 years and they handle personal injury and another type of law, that's fine. But I do not recommend hiring a younger personal injury attorney who handles several different types of law. The fifth question to ask a personal injury attorney before you hire one is, are you going to send me copies of every email, letter, and fax that you send and receive in your office? Now, some clients don't care about receiving every email, fax, and letter that's sent and received. However, I found that most like getting copies of every email, fax, and letter that's received. When potential personal injury clients contact my office and they want to get a new attorney, the number one complaint that I hear is they don't know what's going on with their case. If the attorney sends them a copy of every email, fax, and letter, this can easily be avoided. Unfortunately, in most cases, I'm unable to represent people who have already had a personal injury lawyer. The sixth question to ask a personal injury lawyer before you hire one is, are you going to charge me for copies of papers and long-distance phone calls and faxes? These charges can quickly add up, and now that we're in the digital age, most attorneys should not charge you for this. The seventh question that you should ask a personal injury attorney before hiring one is, are you going to charge me a set fee for costs in my case? In a state like Florida, which is where I practice, attorneys cannot charge a fixed cost for costs. They can't just say the costs in this case are $200. We are not allowed. The eighth question that you should ask a personal injury attorney before hiring one is, are you willing to file a lawsuit if necessary? Not all personal injury attorneys sue. So if you're interested in suing in your case, ask the attorney before you hire them if they are willing to sue. Now, many personal injury cases get settled before a lawsuit, but you want to be sure that you'll know whether your attorney will sue. You can also ask the attorney if they are going to get your consent before filing a lawsuit. Watch these videos here so you can learn how to settle your case in the shortest amount of time possible for the most amount of money.